What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast, the new and experienced investor podcast. Today, we're talking about value add flipping, investing in state and internationally. There's going to be a lot to cover. It's going to be a show you definitely don't want to miss. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Alex Barnett. I'm the new guy.
I'm Joe Holmes, and I'm the experienced guy.
Oh, yeah. We have an amazing guest with us today. He's on his way. He's going to be joining us in about 2 minutes. He's a leading realtor and investor investing worldwide.
Nice.
Yeah, Mr. Worldwide.
Wow.
You ever heard of that guy?
No.
Mr. Worldwide?
No.
Pitbull.
Does he invest in Hawaii? Because
I don't know.
Your wife is dying to go there.
I know.
I
found a sub 2 in Hawaii we can buy, but she's too stingy. As well as forcing appreciation in local markets beyond just regular cosmetic flipping model. But before we bring him on, I just want to remind everybody about our upcoming meetup.
April 28th. We do not have a speaker yet, to be determined. If you're looking to speak at a meetup, then please reach out. Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got something to say?
Not a big qualification. You know, there is an application involved. And,
right.
You know, a vetting process and some questions and under a heat lamp type situation. But other than that, it's not bad if you want to, you know, promote whatever it is that you're doing real estate related and do that in front of an audience of usually 75 to 100 people.
Yeah. Yeah. The last one was really good. We had Burton from Prop Stream, and even though we had him on, I think it was in September, he had all these new updates about stuff I didn't even know about. So
yeah,
it was very informative and an excellent hang afterwards. I always like to remind you guys that you get the most out of this podcast because it is live by joining the chat. So make sure to share this far and wide with any new and experienced investor in your circle, your network. And we're going to pick a few of the chats, a few of the questions to ask our guests towards the end. Or maybe they're going to ask you, Joe, if you're ready for it.
The guests. Yeah, that's what we're here about, the guests.
That's what we're here about.
Yes.
But they can get, full access to you through this show as well. That's pretty cool.
As long as you buy me lunch or coffee, I'm in.
No, they're gonna join. They're gonna do it in the chat.
Oh, they can do it in
free.
The chat.
Yeah.
Oh.
So otherwise, it's gonna cost you lunch or coffee.
Yeah,
but
it's well worth it.
It is well worth it. So make sure to join in the chat. And before we launch into the topic of value add flipping and investing internationally, let's talk about our 2 tips of the week, shall we? My tip is I think we're going to be talking about forcing appreciation. You know, when you're flipping or you're going to remodel a house, you can add square footage. Whether you're doing that or not, my tip is just stick to your numbers. Especially right now, stay conservative. Don't get all drunk on hopium and try to push your after repair value up. Just stick to the numbers. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, just simply move on.
My tip is the opposite.
Oh.
Total opposite.
Okay.
Don't do value adds.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right.
Like add an ADU and it'll, appreciate the property price. Put a pool in the backyard. It'll appreciate. Add this, add that. Like, no. Just, especially if you're just starting out. Just a simple removing everything inside the house, putting it back brand new, move on to the next project. Yeah. When you start adding stuff on, it just takes such a long time. Usually there's a permit involved.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just getting more difficult at the city on a daily basis. So mine's the opposite. I don't like value adds at all.
Okay.
Just something simple, quick, even cosmetic, move on.
What if you're going to make an extra $400,000?
Never happen. Never happen. No, never happen.
Yeah, I was watching one of the videos on what it costs, and this was a guy in Florida. I think he said to add like 600 square feet, it was between $130,000 and $160,000.
Yeah.
for construction. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's true or not, but
Yeah. And what value did it add? Not
Yeah.
much.
I don't know. I've seen some places in LA where the difference between 1,000 and 1,800 is a big difference.
Square footage?
Yeah, square footage wise, it
yeah.
could be, you know, a million.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking, you know, to complete a project like that, at least 9 months to a year. You know, it's just like, it just doesn't pencil out. That was what your suggestion was. Do the numbers, pencil it out. If it doesn't pencil out, move on.
Yeah. That's the hardest thing, I think, when you're starting out and you're hungry for a deal. You just want every single one to work. And so you're just like, well, if we do this and I only spend $5,000 on the rehab, which never is going to happen,
No.
then, I'll make this amount of money. But
Yeah,
I
and
heard someone say they're spending $5,000 on just staging today.
yeah, prices are going up.
they are going up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Materials are up. Labor is up.
I did see the staging at Ryan's new place in Lake Forest, and it does look very nice.
Oh, yeah. No, it's totally
They
worth it.
staged all the rooms. My only objection was one room, they put a king-size bed, and it's like a small room. So it literally took up the whole room, and I'm like, wow. They did a really great job in the entire house, but kind of had a strike there.
Maybe the whole family's going to sleep in one bed. Willy Wonka style.
So it's a 3-bedroom. So you're saying it's going to be for a family of
Yeah.
5, 6, 7.
Co-living
Maybe
is all the
grandma,
rage.
yeah, maybe grandma and
Yeah.
grandpa are coming to move in.
Grandma, grandpa, her
Yeah.
3 dogs, and then, the family and a couple of kids. Yeah. You're going to need a king-size bed in every room. We just have a twin bed that we share with a cat and a dog. We make it work.
Really? No. Wow. Can't believe anything you say. I have to just talk to her.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
That idea. Well, no, we have a queen, and like Chad got a king size bed, so he like makes fun of us now. We have a small bed.
Yeah, I've got what's called a California king.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I have to write an email and get it to my wife to just tell her like quit snoring or move.
Right. Yeah. You're like, is
Yeah,
she even over
is
there?
she
You
even
can't even
over
tell.
there? Yeah, I know. I know when it's like super, super quiet. We're watching a show or whatever.
Yeah.
Gets really, really super quiet. She's asleep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's asleep.
That's I know.
Yeah, doing this like, hello, you
Right.
awake?
Yeah.
No, nothing. And then what I'll do is I'll shut the TV off as well.
Oh, and then she's like, I was
And
watching
then,
that.
And then she wakes up like 5 minutes later, like, was it over?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I know.
wasn't over. You were over.
I
you're
usually,
done.
yeah,
You're
I
done.
usually pass out before. I haven't seen the end of like any show that we've been watching.
Really?
Yeah, I just
You're like
I go
that
to sleep.
too,
Well, I
huh?
get up really early. So then
Wow.
what size bed do you guys have? Drop it in the chat. I want to know.
Yeah,
My
'cause
man.
that's really important to real estate.
Yeah.
Yes. the
Well,
size of
bed size. Well, staging,
Yes.
bed size, but enough of that.
Ryan, I know you're off camera, but hopefully you or Michaela knows. How much did you spend for the staging there on Fortune? You what? 3,200.
3,200.
Yeah, we used to spend like 1,200
Jeez.
when we first started.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,700, 1,800.
I know.
No, I
Yeah.
agree. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's worth
it does.
Yeah. I think our girl's like at 27 right now.
Okay.
But her price goes up like every time we use her.
Yeah.
Like,
Does that make
have a
sense?
static price.
Yeah.
I heard her last price to a referral I sent her was $29.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, time to go hunting. But enough screwing around. Our guest has arrived. He came here all the way from far away.
He flew here.
He flew here, private jet style. So we're really stoked to have him. Dolf Al-Imara. What's up?
Make it rain.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you in person again.
Yes.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for making the drive and joining us in studio.
He flew.
Thanks for making the flight and being in here. Yes.
Drove my jet.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Santa Monica to OC. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. But yeah, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience? How did you get into real estate? What led you there?
Awesome. So my name is Dolf. I'm a realtor. I have a license and to practice real estate, and I'm also a general contractor. Because I have done so many rehabs, I might as well just take the exam, be a licensed contractor. It makes perfect sense. So I have this control. It's all about control. Like I want to have everything into the real estate journey. I started my first home I bought 2011 and rehabbed it 2012, and then it was in San Francisco, and then in 2019 I moved to Southern California, and I really liked it. So I'm not going back. I like the weather here and palm trees. In 2019, I started to really go into real estate every year, either buy or rehab or like look for another deal to like do the next year. So I've been doing 6 rehabs so far, and I bought 4 buildings, and I just syndicated a building in Northridge. So
Nice.
anything under the sun, you call it, I have done it.
I
So-
noticed that. Yeah, your bio
Yeah.
was very extensive. I didn't know
Thank
like
you so
what
much.
to just land on. So we got a lot to cover.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely. So
yeah.
that's my journey, and I am I came from engineering background, so you see how much passion I have that I left the engineering, my full-time job with John Deere, which is people die to get in John Deere. I left it all behind to practice real estate full-time.
People die to get into John Deere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like Laguna.
Oh, Laguna Woods. Yeah,
Woods,
they're
yeah,
dying
people-
to get in, dying to get out.
Yeah, they are.
I can attest to that.
Nice. So, what part of SoCal are you in now?
I am in Long Beach
Okay.
right now, and soon I will be moving to LA.
Okay.
To be next to the action.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's all about the action.
Okay. Well, let us know. Like, what sort of action is coming up in LA? What are you seeing?
So there is a lot of people are getting under the water and they want to sell. So my job is to find these good deals, good margins, buy them. I'm a big fan of like buying and holding. I did one time buy and sold. I did not like it. I paid so much taxes. And then within a year, there is like a 20% appreciation for that home that I rehabbed like it was my own home.
Mm-hmm.
Everything brand new, like gut rehab. So I decided to no more selling. It's all holding.
Love that. Yeah. I mean, that's how you're going to build your wealth.
Exactly.
Let's go back to the beginning. It sounds like you have a ton of experience. And then also you mentioned that you work with the city and the permitting to do value add onto these properties. It's not just a normal cosmetic flip.
No.
How did you get there? Like, how did you get that knowledge to do that?
So the first rehab I did in San Francisco, my home, I had to learn the lessons the hard way. I hired a handyman. I didn't know that there is a contractor and a handyman. So the guy charged me like 50%, took the money, never saw him again, had to sue him in court. I got my money back. That's good.
Nice.
So I learned that I have to be more careful when like doing these rehabs. So when I moved to Southern California, I did it by the book. I had to have reviews. I have to have like references. I call the references of the guy he is working on my rehabs. So that's how I did it. And I like to, when I have a vacant property, I'm not gonna like a do like a lipstick kind of thing and have problems later. No, it's gonna be like I take out all the walls, put insulation, everything to reduce the amount of problems later down the line when tenants are there. And like in LA or like Orange County, people don't leave. They want to stay, which is fine, but you cannot fix the property like a major rehab. So I had to study the law, study the city, a lot of phone calls to the city of LA, how to navigate. And I did a crazy thing. Like in 2020, when I bought my first property, it was a triplex in LA. There were no city. Like you cannot go to the city to get a building permit. So I asked around, I called like a lot of people in the city. They told me the best way to do it is express permits. So when I saw like that was like my entrance into like the building and the city and like the questions I have to ask. So I did that, all express permits, same day. You do the job, but then you have like 9 or 10 permits rather than one building permit. So that was one of the experiences. And then I saw the people doing the jobs. I learned the drywall needs to be like this, needs to be like horizontal, not vertical. The nails has to be like in a certain distances. The mud, to avoid the cracks, it has to be that way. Because I like build a solid foundation. I took the best of the best in LA. They charged me a little bit extra, totally worth it. So then like the first rehab, then the second rehab. So that one was just like gut rehab, make everything brand new. The next project, 2023, it was illegal addition in the back. So that was like the next level, if you will. So there was one bedroom, one bathroom on the back added. I don't know how the city did not come and put them in jail like these people. So it sounds like the tenant had all the additions without the seller's knowledge or like the owner's knowledge. So it was a good deal, good spread. So I bought it and I kind of like dive in, and then I discover later what kind of issue I ran into. That was my like the style. I go in and then
Then you
figure out later. And there is I'm blessed not to have any problems that I cannot solve. Engineering background, not engineering background, I don't know. It's solvable. Like if you talk to enough people in the city or like outside, you will find a solution. You just have to do the work. So that one, I like got the plans. I hired a contractor. I was not a contractor yet. Had to wait a long time. Had to like, hey, what is the status? Can we? And it's like dragging. Right. So, and then at the end, it was also gut rehab. I had new foundations, new walls, everything. And then it was a success. I had the final permit like signed off.
That's great.
Then the next year I decided, okay, I'm going to take the exam. I'm going to be a license. So every hurdle that I did, it led me to do like something. So I had bad experiences in San Francisco when I bought my first home. I decided to become a realtor. So I don't have that issue. I had issue with getting the permit process, and so I had to get my contractor's license. It's for some people, it's like huge, but for me, it's totally worth the trouble.
Yeah. That totally makes sense because, like you said, when you have this other third party that's dragging their feet and you're doing all you can to get a hold of the guy and you're like, please make this a priority. His money's not on the line. It's your money necessarily. So you're trying to get it done quick as possible. So you just take full control over that.
Correct. That's what I did.
That's great. I mean, Joe kind of learned a similar way just from like your dad taught you, and then you just ended up doing so many flips that you know pretty much every single thing now.
My dad used to kick the inspectors out of the house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Can I do that, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you give me the blessing?
he would get so mad, and I think Ryan is running through this. My son-in-law is running through the same issue. They send one inspector one day, he corrects everything. Then they send an inspector a week later to see, that everything was done, but it's a different inspector. And now
my
he comes
goodness.
up with another list. It's like,
Yeah.
seriously, you're here to inspect to make sure that everything was done that the previous guy was here about. No. I see that you resolved your realtor problem by becoming a realtor. Awesome. Great.
Yes, thank you.
And I see you resolved your contractor problem by becoming a contractor. I don't know that there's a way around inspectors. You're at their mercy.
So here is the thing. I was doing a seminar about ADUs last Thursday for the Greater Los Angeles Investors Association. One of the guys asked me, "How do you deal with inspectors? We know that inspectors are hard to work with. Do you have a problem?" And I said to him, the response from the inspector, it depends on you. If you want them to be mad at you, you can do that. If you want them to follow you and sign everything you need, you could do that as well. And he was surprised. Like, what do you mean? I said, well, if you do everything by the book and they come and see your work is like flawless, they will not check on you. They will not give you a long list. They just write like a correction because they need to prove themselves that they are doing the work, which is fine. One issue, then you fix it next time, and it's good to go. If you try to show them that you are wrong, just do the work, what they ask you, and you will be fine. So that's how I. And then at the end, I told him, just tell them jokes, man.
Yeah. Try to buddy up with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're
distract them.
They're like, yeah, real funny.
Which city, Joe? I'm curious. Your father had these issues. Is it here in Orange County or?
No, and this was 40 years ago.
Okay.
Well, Ryan he's in Mission Viejo right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
His flip.
Yeah.
That he has to get.
No, I agree with you totally. I agree with you. Yeah, just hopefully they come in and make them your best friend, and hey, this is done. But then you do have those people that just not having a good day.
Exactly.
And they start writing, and it's like very frustrating. And then my dad's issue was, yes, my dad was a contractor as well, and most of these guys that are doing this inspection job for the city don't have a frustrator's license.
No,
they don't have any
know.
experience at all.
They read a book, basically.
Exactly. They read a book. And that's, I think, was the frustrating part for him was, I know what I'm doing. I'm doing everything right. You're coming here and telling me that this is not right and you're wrong. And he'd kick him out.
And he is right. His dad is right.
Yeah,
but
that's the process.
Who is signing the
No, and that's what I would tell my dad. It's like, okay, well, we just kicked him out. Now what do we do? He went to the city.
This problem.
Yeah, he went to the city, talked to his supervisor. Supervisor says, go back home. I'll be there in a minute. Supervisor came out, signed it without looking at anything, and said, keep going.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so he got his way.
He got his way. My dad got his way, but I agree with you totally.
Yeah.
It's best to make him your best friend.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's donuts. I don't know if...
No, I never used donuts.
No,
I
used
used
those are only good on
melon
cops.
jokes. I used melon jokes. Do you want to hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, so one time that was in the illegal addition property. The inspector came with a frown on his face, like he was not having a good day. It was a Friday. So I kind of like little by little asking questions, what's going on? How is your family? And he said this and this, and his father was in the hospital. And it was unexpected, and I didn't know what to do. And so I told him, Inspector, his name is Ben. I told him, Inspector Ben, life is like a melon. Sometimes you open it, it's red, or sometimes and delicious, and sometimes it's white and not so delicious. He was cracking up. He was so happy. And then every time I see him, he said, I still remember the melon jar.
Nice.
It,
Wow.
like, it got him through the day, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, nice.
That's
It's like
really
a
good.
melon. Like you open
Nice.
it, you never know
Yeah.
if it's a delicious or like
Yeah.
a mellow
Yeah.
melon.
Yeah.
I met with an investor once from India, and he used to build large buildings and houses and stuff like a builder over there in India.
Okay.
And he met me here. He was on a special visa that they give you when you come here, and if you create a certain amount of jobs, that's what the visa was for. And so he wanted to start doing the same thing that he did over there. And he goes, "Oh, Joe, how do you handle these inspectors when they come over?" And so I'm explaining to him, they just come over. He goes, "Oh, no, that's not how we used to handle it back in India." I go, "Well, how'd you handle it back there?" Well, that was the time that we would pay them.
Oh.
I go, "Oh my God, don't do that here. You're going to get yourself in trouble
It's
if
like
you do that
straight
here."
to jail.
Yeah, it's like, no, don't do that here. You just go along with what they say and get everything fixed and move on. He says, "Oh, no, we used to just pay him." It's like, okay.
1,000 rupees.
Yeah.
That'll do the
Yeah,
job.
that'll do it. That'll do it.
So you got all the
and
buildings
then the
leaning.
next guy's lined up. It's like, okay, that's the first inspector. And the next one's coming going, "Yeah, let me have some too." While you're at it. Yeah.
Classic. Tale as old as time.
Yeah.
Well, you do see, when you're searching the MLS for fixers, sometimes you do see non-permitted additions.
All the time.
Does that, now that doesn't deter you because you know what to do, or is there a certain thing that you're looking for, or do you take those on still? Like,
I take those all the time.
Oh, okay.
Because there is not a competition
right.
in that arena, and especially the city of LA. I know like the permitting process, the like most of the inspectors, the cost analysis of like doing the rehab, the workers that they work in the LA area, because if the job is in Orange County, they would like to charge me extra to go to Orange County and do the drive versus LA. Everybody is in LA. So it's, I never miss those opportunities.
How do you negotiate those type of deals? Because for me, I'm always negotiating everything. And for something like that, I would literally just like, that's a big red flag for me. Like listing agent, that's a big red flag for me. It's like, wow, they didn't get any permits for this. It's like, wow, that may cost me like $30,000 or $40,000 to cure something that your client did. I know you want $1 million, but let's discuss it. Maybe we can do this deal for $900,000. Do you do things like that?
I do things like that all the time. Like
Okay.
I explain to him, it's a lot of explaining, especially to agents. So that's the edge. Like when you are a realtor and / contractor / like doing the actual work, it gives you an advantage. You can explain to him in details, this is what you have to do to fix it. You don't have to. I can take it. I'm going to charge you this. Just give me a discount of this amount. And you are doing your client a solid, because nobody else will come, like a traditional buyer, will come and deal with all these issues, because it's going to cost them more than it costs me, because like I'm doing the work. So I'm saving like 30% right off the bat. And they understand. And then they give me the deal.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what are you looking for, when you're underwriting these deals and you come across something like that? Are there certain boxes that that it needs to check?
So it has to be the work been done. The work needed has to be like a certain amount, and then that certain amount will add it to the purchase price. And then after all the fees and things, I like it to be within 80% of the ARV.
Okay.
So if everything is 75-80%, then that's a deal. If not, then it's not a good deal. And sometimes they didn't want to do it, and then 2 months down the line they cannot close escrow, and then they call me, and then I ignore them. I gave you the chance. I'm serious. I did that with one listing agent from Keller Williams. I'm not gonna mention his name. I told him, this is the deal. I'm gonna close it 21 days. And he said, no, I want this and this and this. I was like, this is not negotiation. Clearly, you don't know how to negotiate. So go for it. 2 weeks, he got into escrow, and then 2 months he called me. Oh, this is available. He left me a voicemail. No. Yeah. His friend, which is a common friend with me, he called me, and I did not answer this guy as well. Yeah.
So
hopefully he listened to us and understands.
You're talking about an agent that's a gatekeeper. That's what I call them.
Yeah,
they
are.
And how often do you run into that problem of having to educate this agent and then not getting anywhere because they think they're representing their client, but they're really not.
No, they are shooting themselves in the foot and the client's foot.
Yeah,
2 foots. At the same time.
I've had the same thing happen before. Purchasing a property, getting a contract, just about signed, and then they change their mind at the last minute, and then they call me like you just said 2 or 3 months later. It's like, hey Joe, you want to do the deal? And I go, what?
How do you respond to that, Joe? I'm interested too.
I was just going to tell you. Okay. My response is absolutely. Yeah. Remember I was going to pay you $600,000? Yeah. That's not going to work for me anymore. My price is $550. Are you good at $550? Yeah. They're good at $550.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no, I never stop the negotiation process going. Don't get upset. I don't know if you got upset or not, but anyways, don't take it personal, anything like that. You're constantly negotiating, and we negotiate until we close escrow. If there's something that comes up in the middle of escrow, obviously you have your request for repairs and all that stuff, but we're constantly negotiating. I had on escrow, I purchased a property. Nowhere on the MLS did it say there was a death on the property. Nowhere.
Within
and then
2
I
years.
get this disclosures, and the disclosures say death on the property. Okay? And I've been flipping for a long time, and I know the certain areas like Irvine, you may as well forget it. You're not going to sell that house with the death on the property.
Oh.
So you have to wait 3 years.
Wow.
Okay. So this wasn't in Irvine. This was actually in Mission Viejo. We're talking a lot about Mission Viejo. But did you think I was just going to let that lie there? No, I called the agent back. I said, oh my God, I am just like so superstitious about, this, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Gosh, I think we're going to have to cancel this contract. But, now that I'm thinking about it, if we could drop the price $30,000, that might be able to help me. My anxiety and stuff. And they came back literally an hour later. The agent came back and said, "Okay, we got it."
So these realtors, these listing agents, they are the best. They know how to convince the. Sometimes you talk to someone who does not he does not know how to talk to his client and convince them with things. That's why I ignored the voicemail from that guy, because even if I tell him my updated price, I think he will resist and say, "Oh no, I want more than the price that the guy who didn't close." He's
I've always been of the philosophy that if I've got a listing agent, and I tell all my listing agents the same thing. You've got a property on the market for $1 million, and you get an offer for $700,000. It's like, oh, no, I'm not going to respond to that. That's ridiculous. No, you respond.
You respond.
Okay,
and
you
ask
respond.
the question. Why?
Yeah.
700?
Why is it? Why do you think it's $700,000? I mean, the way I respond to those type of offers is I'll send a counter back at 1.2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Wait a second, you went down 300. I just went down up 200. If you want to play that game, we can. It's literally, I tell my agents, it's literally one piece of paper. Here's the price. Send it to them. It's not like, somebody's asking you for your firstborn or anything. Just like, get in there, start negotiate, continue the negotiation process. Why did they start so low? Ask them.
Yeah.
You got to ask people why they do things.
Exactly.
You get strange answers.
I am one of those guys. I want to ask everything. About anything.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Yeah. If you don't ask, you're never going to know.
Exactly.
And if you don't ask to reduce the price, you're never going to get it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Leaving money on the table.
Yep. And it's all numbers. You don't have to get all emotional about it. That's the part people get pretty emotional about some of these offers. What are some common mistakes that you see other contractors, other flippers, investors when they're doing like a value add through renovations?
Going above their budget. That's a very common. Even me, I do it all the time.
I know you did mention that on your first one, that you wanted it to look like something that you would live in.
Yes.
And that is, honestly, that is the first mistake that somebody that starts out flipping, that's the first mistake.
Exactly. You don't get emotional with the house. And because I thought I'm going to keep it, Joe. That's why is the reason. And then it was 2023. There were the loan situation was so bad that you asked like top dollar rent and still not gonna cover the mortgage. And then I didn't want to keep it for 1 year before I build the garage and make it an ADU. Then if I get the garage, it'll pay. It'll be solid. But I didn't want to pay because I have other deals in the pipeline. So that's why. But definitely paying more. It's not paying more. It's you find something that is old. That's like, to me, that's the case, and then I have to replace it. Like the sewer line in the 2023 deal in LA, the legal edition. It was bad, and I am doing a new driveway. I'm not gonna let the cast iron. By the compaction, it's gonna break when you so you do it. That's another 10,000. That's above your budget.
Right.
But it was strategic, and I'm holding it, so it's okay. But the flippers sometimes they do it and they have to sell, so they end up sometimes writing a check instead of getting a check at close of escrow. That's one of the scary mistakes.
Yeah, you got to budget for those contingencies.
Exactly.
There's always going to be something, especially if you're going down to the studs, you're ripping everything out. There's stuff you couldn't see in the initial inspection. It's just there's no way.
Exactly. And when you send the scope of work to your lender, it was not there, and you have to fix it. And you cannot ask the lender because you could take it from the contingency, but the contingency is only 10%. So if it's more than that, then that was a nightmare.
Yeah, for sure. You're like, okay, here we go. Well, that's kind of like what you were saying. It's like it's almost going to school, to be a contractor. It's
exactly.
You're in the trenches, literally.
Exactly.
Changing out a sewer line. It sounds like, so are you getting hard money and then you want it at that 80%, so then you can refinance into a longer loan?
So usually with my experience, I get 90%.
Oh.
Yes. So
okay.
And then full 100% rehab money.
Right.
Probably Joe has that as well. He can.
Yeah.
Right.
If he has the experience. I found a lender. She told me that your next deal, if you do only one more deal, which is the place I was driving from, the Granada Hill deal.
Okay.
It's gonna be zero. It's gonna be 100% financing and 100%.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, I guess once you finish then you're gonna hold it. You get out of the hard money.
So 80%.
80%.
Correct.
Okay, so you're pretty much right there to where you don't have any money in the deal at that point, and
Exactly.
you just get a long-term loan.
Yes.
And then you're doing an ADU, so then it can cover the mortgage and you can cash flow, or how are you getting over that hurdle?
So the last deal I did in LA, the illegal edition, that's a good name. The illegal edition deal.
Yeah.
It creates the buzz. You know?
Right.
The all the money I took out, I paid the lender, I paid the excess, and I added like 125 of equity to the deal, and then I have 20% equity still. So that and no ADUs, no nothing. There is a project to build 2 ADUs in the back, so it's still in the process.
Okay.
It's like a year now.
Right.
In the making, because it was the zoning is so tricky for this home. The things that we want to do, we had to redo the plans again, and instead of doing one single family and then ADU on top, we had to do one single family like this, 2-story, and then one ADU attached to it to avoid the setback.
Right.
So that takes a lot of time. So hopefully it's going to be coming soon. So with that ADUs, one single family and one ADU, it's going to be solid.
Gotcha.
It's going to pay all the mortgages. And
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, do you move somebody in
yes,
initially to pay that down? Okay.
So I had it in a way that I do the rehab for the first. The existing single family gets cash flow, put a tenant, which is one of my workers. So I told him, if I do the construction on the back, you will have no problem with that. He said, yeah, because I'm gonna do the foundations for you. It's like
Amazing.
Nice.
sold.
That's a win-win right there.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
great. Okay, so building on your holding portfolio.
Yes.
I read that you're in state, you're out of state, you're international.
Yes.
Can you go over what that's
Sure.
like and the differences?
Sure. So do you want to start? Let's start from
Okay.
from the outside in.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had an apartment in Turkey, in Istanbul, the capital, 5 minutes from the sea, beautiful, and it's hillside. So that's the exterior. It's so big that the whole level is one apartment, and then you have one apartment above you, and then the third one, and I got a lot of people. So here is another thing. A lot of people in Turkey, they don't like the ground floor. But I saw that the ground floor only have a garden. And I grew up in California. We all have big gardens if you live in single family home. So I bought it specifically cheaper than buying the second or the third floor. And I got like a garden full of trees. Like I planted the trees, and the good thing is it's supposed to be for everybody, but there is no access for anyone unless they go into my apartment to get access.
Nice.
Okay.
Or they jump like using like parachutes.
Right.
And then they cannot go up.
Okay,
It's too
that's
high.
cool.
So that's one. And then out of state in 2020, here is a background story for the 2020, what happened. When I moved, so 2019, I moved to LA. I met my mentor, a gentleman. His name is Sam Sadat. I met like 3 clubs, real estate clubs, and then he was by far the best, like approachable and very easy to work with. And I told him, Sam, I have a property in San Francisco Bay Area. It has 500,000 of equity, and I'm getting 1,000 cash flow. I don't like it. It's not where I want to be. He said, go sell it, and we will find you a deal here in LA, and it's gonna be more than a single family, and it's gonna be more than 1,000. I was like, okay. So I sold it. I sold the property. So I have 500K worth of cash, and I told him, okay, I did I did what you told me. Just give me like a good deal. So he got me a off-market deal. That was the first time I got introduced to off-market deals. What is that? It's a person, no realtor involved, just a wholesaler, and directly to the. I paid him $70,000 assignment fee because the deal was so good. I had 165 equity immediately, like when I buy it, immediately. So I was like even with paying him 70,000. So I was like, you are the best. Give me the deal. It had tenants inside. I couldn't go look into, and I made a decision in 2 hours. Wired them the EMD. I told him I want it. I did not see anything. So speaking of go in and then discover later.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was one. And then I have still, so I did 250 because he's a lender. Sam was a lender. He said, if you do 250, I can lend you the other 50%. Because I don't know you. And I said, okay, sounds good. So I did 250. Then the other 250, and I said, let me buy something else outside of the California. And one of the states that I like is Idaho. So I bought a fourplex in Idaho, ready to go. No rehab, no nothing needed. So cash flowing day one. So I bought that. And then, so this is in-state, outstate, and then outside. And then the next year, I got the Gardena property, the one I sold. Then I got a property in the mountains. It's actually beautiful. It's one of the properties that I did not sell, but I had it with a partner. So the obvious way is to split the proceeds. So it was in Tehachapi. Are you guys familiar with Tehachapi?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
North of here. Your neighbors are the elks, the rabbits, the eagles, like beautiful neighbors. And you are on a 1 acre lot and like custom made 1996 house. We did flooring, painting, and we got it for $380. We paid the wholesaler $20,000, and we sold it for $585. No, $592. Sorry, $580. We gave them credit, so $585 is what we got.
That's a good
So
deal.
that's a really
nice.
good deal. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. What made you pick that area?
It's the network. So we were not finding any deals, and this came along within our real estate club, and I said, let's do it. It's better than nothing, and it's a new experience. So I had to drive an hour and a half. It's a countryside. I want to see what kind of as you can see, I'm an action junkie, real estate action junkie.
Right.
I'm not sure, Joe, is there a solution for me? Like,
No, keep going. That's what I would say. Keep going. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's fun. You know, it's fun going to these new places.
Yeah, everybody keeps asking me if I'm going to retire, and it's like,
no,
why?
hell no.
You know,
No.
why? It's like, no.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Pick me up off the floor when I'm, passed out or something. But no retiring here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I told you.
Who's
It was
gonna
like
do
forever.
the negotiations with the unrealistic listing
I know,
agents?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So with being, spread out internationally, how are you sort of ensuring, everything's going to plan and, quality control and all that stuff?
So quality control, speaking of quality control, I have to visit my family to Mediterranean region. And every 2 years, we put a condition in the contract that before we go, we have to give 1 month notice, and then the tenants have to leave. Oh. So we go there, we live for like 2 months in Turkey. We enjoy the food. Get 10 pounds of weight.
Yeah.
Eating all the baklava.
Right.
Yeah. and then make sure that everything. By the way, I didn't tell you that I did rehab for the apartment in Turkey.
Dang.
Had to hire people locally.
Okay.
Had to do the painting. Had to move the. For some reason, they like to put the tankless water heater inside the kitchen. Like, who does that? Like, take it outside. So I did that. I did. What else? It was kitchen, cabinets, and because of the jet lag, there is a cool feature in Turkey. I don't see it here. Maybe it's available. You have a motor outside of the window to close the it's like a blind, but it's like a very strong blind. No light will go in. It's like kind of
like a security
post-apocalyptic.
yeah.
It's like a
style.
bomb shelter.
Bomb shelter
There you go.
to sleep, so you can
Bomb
sleep
Yeah.
when you are not supposed to sleep
Yeah, exactly.
because of the jet lag.
You're up at night.
So yeah.
What is it?
You wanna guess how much it cost me to redo? Like I think it was 1,200 square foot
Okay.
area.
Let's go 40K.
40K.
Yeah.
How about you?
5.
5. The winner is here.
No!
It was 4,500.
Oh my god!
Nice.
Everything. Brand
Nice.
new everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
What the heck? And is it the same working with contractors? Like, are they showing up half the time and kind of like taking long
no,
breaks?
No, they are good quality contractors.
Okay.
So the husband of my wife's best friend, he is speaking fluently Turkish, and they lived there for a long time. And he did the negotiation and on my behalf, like getting the good contractors, because his house, everybody lives in an apartment in Turkey. It's super expensive. It was newly remodeled. So I told him, I want the guy who did this. I want the guy who did this. I want the guy who did this.
Perfect.
I want your like the shutters of your window outside, the motor, the electrician. I want your electrician. So that's how. And they cost a little bit more than. I'm not sure if they are licensed. They, I think they have a licensing system, because they do everything by the book. Like, I really like them, and I don't check on them. The kitchen was marvelous. Yeah.
So
And I could charge like maximum rent.
The neighbors never came over and said, "Hey, your contractors were over here the other day and they took my cabinets."
Yeah.
Yeah, 4,500 is very inexpensive.
It is.
Very inexpensive.
It's not expensive at all.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Brandy new stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I like that how you get to, utilize it once you're over there too.
Yeah. I everybody, when I told them the story, they said, seriously, you rehab out of state as well?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, out of the country?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, why not? Same concept, same principle.
That's it.
You find the reviews, you speak to them, you see like what kind of mentality they are, and
Yeah.
see their previous work. That's all I need.
So much of the real estate game is just referrals, going to
Absolutely.
the meetups. And it's kind of cool when people are open to sharing their contractors, sharing, whatever resources that they have. You talk to some people, maybe they're a little bit more reluctant, but then you talk to another guy, he's like, yeah, I'll give you my contractor. He's not working right now, so here you go.
Yeah.
We've found a bunch of guys like that, and then this guy's vouching for them. You're not just going in blind off of maybe like Google reviews or something.
Exactly.
Which can be manipulated. And so I think that's great. So now that you're a general contractor, you're basically just subbing out everything and overseeing everything.
Exactly.
Are you doing that for other investors?
That is under the development. So I have to prioritize my work schedule before anybody. But if so dealing with investors, it's also kind of like a coin toss. You could find a good investor who is reasonable, or you could find an investor that is not reasonable, and he wants like so many things with like low pricing. I don't have time for that. So if it's for the right investor, to answer your question, yes, I could do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got like calls to do like ADUs for people that it's not like my property. They came to the event and I sent them a quote, and we'll see what happens. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially the ADU thing is getting really, just because they made it easier to build, easier, I guess, with the laws that have passed. So people are now looking at properties that they already own and saying, hey, maybe I can, actually generate some cash flow here in California, which some people say is not possible.
Yes.
Just add more structures, more affordable housing,
and get funding from the state, from the city, from anybody that can fund you for your ADU, because everybody needs housing. The city needs housing. The United States needs housing, especially California. We have a housing shortage that like no other.
Yeah.
So you are doing a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
The city and the state will reward you for it.
It's about time that they did
exactly. And I keep telling people that if we don't do that, then our kids will not have housing to live in. They will stay with us for the longest time. Can you imagine that?
He's like, Dad, I did go look. There's nothing. You're like, no, I just built a couple of units over there.
Exactly. You use the units. Yeah. And I built everything. I did a gut rehab, so they cannot complain.
You can't complain.
Dad, what does gut rehab means?
Yeah.
Did you take the gut out? How do they live?
I did everything. Dolph, this is a part of the show where I have some videos that we curated, and I'd love to get your reaction on them.
Okay.
Some videos from the internet.
Oh, okay. Love the internet, man.
The first video is adding 800 square feet to a house flip.
Fireplace has got to go here and above us because we're going to actually extend this house off to this back side. We're going to wind up getting another 400 square feet on both floors, and that's a worthwhile sacrifice. We'll just put in a gas fireplace that direct vents on the other side of the house, so we still have a fireplace, but in exchange for that, we get 800 more square feet of house. Fireplace has got to.
So for a fireplace, replace it with 800 square foot. I'm game every day, all day.
Okay.
Would you put another gas fireplace back in?
No.
Yeah, no. I don't even know if they'll even allow you to do gas anymore on anything.
We don't need it out here, really.
No, it's super hot already.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I don't know where he was. But
Probably Chicago, Michigan area.
Out here, you would not even consider.
Well, they have those ones that like go in the wall,
Fake ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fake ones, they are electrical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't generate heat. They look nice.
We actually used to put those in the flips we did in Laguna Woods.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they look beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's your option.
But definitely not gas.
And so, I mean, and I did notice, I was telling Joe this, when you go to LA, it's what? It's off. Oh, okay.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Okay, that's okay. I think go grab the plug is in the green bag. Yeah, yeah. So when you go to LA, I mean, you go in some neighborhoods and it'll be like 1,000 square foot house, and then you'll see, 1,800 square foot house, and the ARV is massive.
Yeah,
and
big
so
change.
That's what you're looking for.
Yes.
You're looking to take like a 1,200 square foot house. If I had 600 square feet, I'm going to get an extra like 800K. Or what's the spread that you're seeing? What's kind of your formula?
So the formula is to build. The square foot, if you build a square foot in LA, you will get like average from 300 to 350. Not this year, last year. This year, I have not done any addition in LA. It's all Granada Hills area. If you could build it less than 350, then you are making like $1. So I like to build it for like 200 or like 180 to get like 350. So if that's the case, then it's a good deal.
Mm.
If it is like 300 to get 350, not so much. Still doable, still good, but I will not have the room to replace everything that needs to be replaced. It has to be like left alone.
And is this like a year-long process?
For the legal edition, it was a 1 year, full 1 year, and I was Joe. Check this out. I refinanced, closed the refinancing escrow 7 days before the loan due. Like I have a 1 year loan due, the hard money. 7 days.
Nice.
I was like sweating bullets.
Nice.
Like, let's get this thing done. And is it just because of the permitting process that it takes so long?
It's the permitting process. I did not have control. Like I have to stick to whatever guy who was doing the plans, whatever guy who was doing the communicating with the city, and it took. I think my job, it took 3 months. It's 7 or 8 months is the permit, like getting the permit. So, like I did it in 3 months. Everything, like gut rehab, new foundations.
Oh my gosh.
New the door. Like I extended the meter for the fire sprinklers. Everything.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What do we got next?
We've got the number one rule of international real estate investing.
Oh.
Here we go.
I'm excited.
My first rule of international real estate is you've got to go there and do the boots on the ground research. You've got to become a local expert. If you don't, you're most likely going to get burned. You're going to wait, overpay, and then if you do make money, it's just going to be complete luck. So that would be my number one rule. But then just from my quick due diligence, it seems that in the overall market, now it's not to say that you can't find opportunities, you are a local expert, but it seems just the market in general has gone up very substantially because like you always see with the super extreme levels of inflation, property market usually goes up, even in real terms, because everyone wants to get out of cash and into a hard asset. We've seen this in Argentina. We've seen it play out in Turkey, that you would think that, oh my gosh, 60% inflation, the economy sucks, and therefore housing is going to crash. And usually what you see is the exact opposite, that real estate goes up quite substantially in real terms until you get that hyperinflation. And then, the whole country just implodes like seen in Venezuela. And then the prices just plummet in real terms. My first rule of international real estate is you've got to go there and do the boots on the ground research. You've got to become a local expert. If you don't, you're most likely going to get burned. You're going to wait.
So I like it. I did that.
Yes.
When I went to Turkey, I did the boots on the ground research. I talked to the friend of mine who has like a language help. And I did ask, I interviewed a couple of workers there and did it, and it was successful. So I agree 100%. You have to be on site. You have to be doing the due diligence. You don't skip. It's actually, you have to do more due diligence than you do here because you are away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to stay for like 2 weeks out of the 1 month project, but it
Is doing that. And I always get a kick out of people that do things like that, especially out of state. Is that something that you would recommend to a novice? Is like, I always tell people that I talk to is like, it's hard enough to flip here. Why don't you learn how to do it here before you go someplace else?
Exactly.
I mean, I can't imagine, especially if you're going to a foreign country, if you don't speak the language, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huge problem.
Yeah. And then I'm sure, not that they do, but they can take advantage of you because they know you're a foreigner. It's like, back east.
And from California.
Yeah, I'm from California. Exactly. It's like, oh God, he's from California. Let's sell him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
let's double the
30%
price.
or double. Yeah.
Yeah, let's double the price. Why not? He's from California. Yeah.
They don't know how tough Californian people, like investors, like the people who knows how to do things. Knowledgeable.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Do you have another video or? Yeah. Okay.
I got one more for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Keep them coming.
Does permitting really matter in Los Angeles?
Recently, someone asked me if they should get permits for something that they're building. I 100% recommend that you get permits for what you're building on your property because it will be a lot easier to sell later on. And whatever you build can be counted as part of your square footage. It can be legally advertised as what it is instead of not counting it as part of the sale because it was completely unpermitted.
My first
I
rule
like
of
the last
international
part.
real estate is you've got to go there and do boots on the ground.
So definitely, I agree 100%. The like couple of my friends, they did rehab jobs. They spent $240,000 in Granada Hills and like other city, Winnetica, I think. And I asked, Winnetica and Granada Hills. I asked them, did you do any permit by chance? And they said no. So I told them, why? Do you know that the appraisal when you sell the property, and don't tell me you're going to live there for like 30 years because you're going to sell 5-6 years when your kids grow up and you want to move, you have to sell. When the appraisal come in, they will look for the permits for the rehab that you have done. What will you tell them when that time comes in? You're not gonna like do the permit again and do the, and they were surprised. They thought that it's easier and cheaper to do it, but they don't understand the fact that if you do the permit, the appraisal will easily give you the value that you need to, and he is fully supported. Like we all know how appraisals are very conservative and they always like to cut from your value,
Right.
and for the right reasons or the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So I explained to them, and they were in shock, and they wish that they did it with permits to have that leverage when they sell.
Yeah.
But it's too late now.
Yeah, it's too late.
Yeah.
I saw a video when I was pulling out these videos. In LA, you got to get a permit for landscaping. I mean, how far do you take it? It's like, you're changing a paint color. I got to go down to the city and,
It's not landscaping. I think it's the grading.
Oh,
So
okay.
landscaping requires grading. If you have like a hillside, if you have like a little bit of slope, and grading, by the way, I think Joe would agree, it's very difficult.
Right.
Like doing the grades, especially on like the steeper it is, the harder the grading will be.
Yeah.
So it's not like landscaping, like meaning putting a grass, but it's the grading.
Oh, okay.
You have to have a grading permit.
Gotcha.
Especially in LA, like Hollywood area.
And are you still doing all the express permitting, or
yes.
it was okay?
Yes.
So, and-
The express permit, it depends on what I'm doing. If I am doing wiring and it's very quick, then express permit will be more than efficient. If I am doing drywall, taking out the drywall, then I have to have a building permit. If I am doing windows, replacing the windows, that's there is no express. I wish there is an express permit for windows, because I see a lot of windows are old-fashioned or like a single pane, and I hate those. Like they are energy suckers.
Yeah, absolutely. So then that means you got to go down and physically.
Yeah,
permits.
and express permit. A lot of people, now that I know how to use express permits, I have a building. I syndicated a building. I'm one of the owners. 16-unit building. I got one express permit to do all the electrical of a 16-unit. I just have to write it correctly,
Right.
that they accept it, and add the things like the outlets you have to multiply 16 by 5 or 6. You have to multiply the light switches. Before in the triplex in LA, when I did it in 2020, the first time I do like a permitted work in LA, nine express permits. each unit has one express
yeah.
permit for electrical, one for
Yeah.
plumbing, one for sewer line. So
Yeah.
now it's one permit for 16 units.
There you go. Yep.
I
Trial and
mastered
error.
it. Trial and error.
You live and you
baby.
learn.
Exactly.
Do we have any comments?
We do. We have a couple. All right. Let's see
Only
here.
couple?
There
Come
we
on,
go.
guys. Ask me before
All
I
right.
step out.
We got Liz in the chat. She says, was there ever a time the city pushed back on a project? How did you navigate that while still getting the job done?
That is a good question. One time the illegal edition.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This could be
they
famous.
I told them that there was foundation, and they said no. There is areas they require foundation. It's not like a push back per se. I told them the footing was like 6 inches, so I made it like 12 inches. So I added underpinning. Have you done underpinning?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
And
added
I'm actually very
underpinning.
surprised that you only went another 6 inches because we used to go 18 to 24.
I think the total, probably it was 12, and I added
Okay.
extra to make it 18.
Okay.
Now I remember.
Yeah.
It was 18 total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the back, the illegal addition, it was some of it was has foundation and deep foundation, but some section it did not have foundation. It has little bit of foundation, but they said it's not deep enough. So I end up like digging and then doing the A, B, C like section, because you don't want the house to collapse. So you do one section, and then a section like 5 feet after, and then another section, and then you do once you cure, you do the other. So that was. Does that answer the comment?
Yeah, I think so. All right. We got Coach Stephanie in the chat. She says, "Hi, Dolph. I met you at Marco and Jenny's flips. Look at you doing the pod
Yes.
circuit now."
Yes, I miss Mark and Jenny, and probably you. Hopefully, I have time to join them again. What is the question?
She was just doing
Oh,
a shout out, I guess.
just a shout
Yeah,
out. Just a
comment.
shout out. You're famous.
That was a
I'm
comment.
the celebrity.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
We got one more question from Chad. How long does it take you to get a permit for a house that you bought with the unpermitted ADU? Like, what's your timeline permit to finish, I guess?
So before, if you hire other people, it took me 7 months. Right now, I think 3 months is more than enough
Wow.
to do everything from A to Z
With permitting and all
for
that stuff.
like a building permit, like
'Cause
a
you know-
legit
Yeah.
building permit.
You know, I start it right away, get
Yes.
it signed off, boom, and then you
Yes.
just keep the timeline
Exactly.
really tight.
Exactly.
Wow.
There
that's,
you go.
That's quicker than I expected.
Yeah, that's insane. Like,
And
wow.
it depends on the illegal, like what did they do, what kind of things. But 3.5 months should be more than enough.
I've seen somewhere it's like they built a whole nother shanty shack in the back, and I'm like, and they got plumbing and electrical
God.
running all
Yeah.
here and there, and like you said, no one from the city is really checking it out. They don't have the resources to go house to
Like
house.
straight to jail. Like,
Yeah.
If I if I am in the city, straight to jail.
Yes, sorry,
Like-
man. You know what you did.
I have I remember the shower. I don't know why the bathroom. I guess since it's illegal, like sky is the limit. They have a shower pad and a tub. Like, why would you do that? And then the shower pad, no hot mop, no waterproofing. It's straight on the
Right.
yeah.
Straight to the floor. I think our Winnetka house had that. That's
Yeah.
what the guys were saying. Is
Yep.
like there's no pipe. It's just falling into the
That's
dirt.
probably how they
Exactly,
originally
exactly.
built it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Like the dirt will soak it up.
That's probably what caused all our foundation issues.
Yeah.
It's just the shower water going under the house.
No wonder why we have earthquakes in that area.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man,
Soil is.
fun stuff. Dolph, this
Yes.
this has been amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate you coming down here and joining us in studio. And
Absolutely.
dropping the knowledge of everything that you're doing.
I enjoyed.
How can people get a hold of you if they want to partner up on a deal or?
So easy. 323-630-8552, or you could email me at info@uniqueplacesbuilders.com.
Nice.
info@uniqueplacesbuilders.com.
Perfect.
So Unique Places Builders is the contracting company.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And I was poking around your YouTube. I saw you got a podcast going and you're doing a
Yes.
lot of content. What
Yes.
is there anything new going on there?
I want to do an interview with a CPA. I feel like my channel is missing. I've been busy for the past 3 months. I syndicated the deal. The syndication is that is something new I did recently, and I did not expect that amount of work during the syndication and after the syndication. Especially if you are the general partner, you want to make sure that the business is running as smooth as possible and you are meeting the timeline of like making the appreciation. And the one of the units is vacant now. We are doing the rehab for the whole unit, so it's gonna be a beautiful 16 unit building once we rehab everything.
Love that.
Yeah.
We have a CPA that we interviewed. Maybe
We
just
do,
pass
yeah.
it
Can
along.
you like
Natalie, she's really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's fun and she's a good interview and knows her stuff and
Yeah.
works with
Perfect.
investors and business owners. So
Yes.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
give
I
you a
got my
referral.
guest.
there
I
you
got
go.
the guest.
That's it. Are we still
you go.
frozen on there?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Are you guys frozen? You cannot see his Hawaiian shirt.
No, they can
I
see
did
it.
not
No,
get-
Hawaiian shirt's frozen.
Yeah.
It's
we're
a
frozen.
pretty
We're
good
not moving.
screenshot.
It is a
I'm
good
not gonna
screenshot.
lie.
So we'll just do our overdubs. Thank you guys for
Okay.
joining us today. And we won't be back here. I'm going out of town for a little bit. So we're going to take a couple weeks off. But we'll have some content dropping on this day or next week for you.
He's going to Turkey to buy
Yeah.
an apartment by
That's
the
right.
Marmara Sea.
I know.
If he'd have said Hawaii, I would have believed it, but not Turkey. No.
Thank you guys so much. Thanks for jumping in the chat. Make sure to share this far and wide. And we will see you very soon.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. If you want some more advice on real estate investing, reach out to us one-on-one.